Hi fans of high quality entertainment. In this video I'm going to talk about my Paul McCartney discography, but especially one album that I just became a bigger, I kind of liked it, but I didn't love it. And then last night, after not listening to it for probably 2 years, I finally love it. So we'll get to that in a minute. And there's also one other separate artist I just want to talk about. I'll talk about this one quickly to begin. As you know, I'm a huge Beach Boys fan, or as some of you know, I'm a huge Beach Boys fan for about the last 2 years. I've got their whole discography except for one album. And I do plan on ranking them in individual videos at some point soon. And the most recent purchase is the Beach Boys 15 Big Ones, which I had heard before. I think I did a Does This Album Suck? And I'm not sure if I maybe I'll play it here to see what I said at the end of the video. But when I did get this about a month ago, I played it and it was okay. I really love the Beach Boys' Love You, although I didn't at first. It took a few listens to warm up to it. And the same can be said for this now, because I think it's just improved with every listen I've had. And the last 2 listens, especially the one last night, I love this album now. Between this and the Beach Boys' Love You, I love the Beach Boys' Love You more, at least right now, but I think this is a great album, except for the production. And I don't know if it's just this CD, maybe somebody can let me know, but there's once in a while in one of the songs it sounds a little bit distorted, so maybe let me know, but I love this album now. Now on to Sir Paul McCartney. Now, there's only 2 studio albums I don't have. Back to the Egg by Wings, of course. I did have it years ago, but because of this archive edition series coming out, I was thinking, it's going to come out in a box set. I don't need this one anymore. I'll wait, a year or so for it. And I'm still waiting. And I looked on Amazon for a used copy. I'm sure you can find it cheaper elsewhere, but the price I saw for it was over $300. No thank you. And the other one is Kisses on the Bottom, which I did have at one point, but I don't even think it would be kind of nice to have his whole discography, but I just know if I have the album, I'm never going to play it, so what is the point? But and it's not that I dislike the album. It's a nice album, but if I want to play McCartney, I'm going to play any other album besides Kisses on the Bottom, or almost any album. And I also have a new appreciation for some albums in my collection, and I think it has to do with these headphones, which I've talked about before. They're Philips open acoustic headphones. And I did do a review on them before. And they're so comfortable and they just sound so good. Maybe lacking a bit of bass would be the only negative. But other than that, everything just sounds so much better and clearer with these headphones. Plus I'm using an amplifier and a CD player instead of the old boombox that I used to use in the past for quite a few years. So like I said, a lot of music sounds great. Okay, quickly or semi-quickly going through his discography. McCartney 1, I love this. I think it's one of his best. I've got the box set for Ram, but it's not here. Probably my favorite Paul McCartney album. Wings Wildlife, I have a new appreciation for since the archive edition came out. I think it's excellent. I also have the box set for Red Rose Speedway. Big fan of this album, although I certainly wasn't when it was released. Of course, Band on the Run is a classic. I've got 2 versions of it. Have the box set for Venus and Mars, another great album. Wings at the Speed of Sound is good, but not one of my favorites. London Town, once again, I'm hoping at some point it comes out as, remastered in a box set. Even a 2 CD would suffice. But I love London Town. Big fan of McCartney 2, although when it came out I was, disappointed in it, but now I absolutely love it. Now, the one album that I have a new appreciation for, since listening to it last night for the first time in a couple of years, I played this album afterwards, but I was kind of tired, so I wasn't really paying attention after like the 3rd song, but I was starting to enjoy it, more than ever. So I'm going to give this a listen again. Pipes of Peace. Yeah, maybe, who knows, maybe I'll like this more. Never been a fan of Give My Regards to Broad Street, but with these new headphones, I'm going to give it a spin soon. Okay, I'm going to skip over one album to talk about at the end. Off the Ground, which I didn't hear when it came out because I gave up on Paul McCartney for, buying his albums for over, I think it was 26 years. But I like this album. I think it's not one of his best, but I think it's a very good album, except for the album cover. Flaming Pie is superb, great album. Run Devil Run, I never really play. Maybe I'll give it a spin. Driving Rain, I used to think was, pretty mediocre, but in the past few listens, in the past few years, I actually really like it. The only negative about it is there's too many songs. If it was a shorter album, it would have been possibly a great album. But still, I like it quite a bit. One of my favorites is Chaos and Creation in the Backyards. It might be number 2. And this is the album that got me into buying Paul McCartney again and buying the albums that I had missed out on after Pipes of Peace. Memory Almost Full. Love the album, except for the loudness wars with the production. Hopefully this will be remastered at some point or remixed. Paul McCartney's New. I haven't played this in a couple of years, but I think it's a very good album. Same with Egypt Station, very good album. I need to do a new ranking of his albums. And McCartney 3, probably my favorite of the recent Paul McCartney output. And then I've also got this. This is excellent. One hand clapping. Great live stuff. Paul is live. I never play. This Russian album. No, this is Unplugged. Unplugged. I never play. This one is, I know some fans really like this. Electric Arguments. It's good, but it's not, once again, it's not one of my favorites. Wings Over America. Great live album. And this one is really good too. Amoeba, is that how you pronounce it? Somebody will let me know I'm pronouncing it wrong. Amoeba Gig. Not a great album cover, but if you haven't heard this and you're a McCartney fan, you need this in your collection. And yeah, this is the Russian album, which I never play. Okay, the album I played last night, which, like I said, I hadn't played in a year and a half, 2 years. I would try, especially when I'm doing Paul McCartney reviews, I'll listen to it. But I just never connected with it, even though around that time I was still a pretty big Elvis Costello fan. And Elvis Costello helped him on his Flowers in the Dirt album. And like I said, some of these songs, they were almost like listening to them for the first time. I know Your Brave Face, Put Her There, but some of the other tracks I just don't know that well because I don't play this enough, because it wasn't ever one of my favorite Paul McCartney albums. But last night, every song I totally enjoyed. I need to play it more to kind of connect more with each individual song, especially if I'm going to do a review. But I'm just saying, for my listen last night, I enjoyed it from start to finish. There was no song that I disliked. So it's nice that I finally really appreciate Flowers in the Dirt. And that is it. I would love your thoughts on any of the albums that I talked about and the Beach Boys' 15 Big Ones. And it's just one of my favorite things about music is an album that you think is mediocre or just okay. And I've still got quite a few in my collection that I don't play that often because I just think they're mediocre. But I'm giving these, I was thinking last night, I was in bed listening to other music, Donovan, again, and I was thinking, I haven't heard, thinking of Paul McCartney, I haven't heard Flowers in the Dirt with these new headphones that sound so awesome. And so I listened to it and I was just really impressed with the album at last. And that's it. Please remember to like the video, leave a comment below, and thanks for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.